U.S. Navy will deploy QinetiQ's Vindicator drones for reconnaissance, force protection, and situational awareness. Vindicators are lightweight, low-cost drones designed for quick deployment, making them ideal for maritime environments. Critics are pointing to concerns over cybersecurity, even as basic drones remain vulnerable to hacking attempts in certain zones, right? This win further solidifies QinetiQ as a leader in delivering cost-effective unmanned solutions for defense applications. Always good to see QinetiQ doing things like this, kind of pushing the needle on it.
Yeah, these aren't kind of test drones, target practice drones. So it's keeping them from being hacked, jammed, or even turned against their own operators, if you want. But modern conflicts don't just involve missiles and guns. It's the whole electronic warfare side of battlefield. So for me, the key vulnerabilities they've got here is going to be the jamming, GPS spoofing that takes place, hacking, data interception, and software supply chain risk as well that comes into that whole thing. So you're looking at a very specialized area that it's got to be cyber secure.
You know, in today's world, I would argue that any company is going to be amiss and lacking if they haven't considered protections from cybersecurity from these threats and warfare. It's a challenge, Andrew. It is a challenge, but in this case, I don't think it's the biggest. I think the biggest, my number one, is can a $14 million drone contract scale into the real capability, or is it just going to be a nice, gadget to show off to your combat buddies? Can all of this tech be taken, updated, upgraded, post-deployment, etc., to keep working and to start working and continue working to actually make a difference?
I'm sorry, I'm going to stick with where I was. This is a cybersecurity issue. It doesn't matter how many of these drones they buy. If they are vulnerable to hacking or jamming in the first place, they're just going to become a complete liability, not an asset. So a low-cost drone is great, and we understand that. We're working with that environment today. But if the enemy can hijack it mid-flight or turning it into a flying surveillance camera for them instead of us, then the Navy's just paid $40 million to give someone else an advantage. So the real challenge, it isn't production. It's going to be making sure these drones can survive in an environment where the enemies are active, trying to disable them every minute of every day.
This is likely a case where we're going to have to see AI integration in keeping these working, ensuring that they work correctly, and avoiding all the cybersecurity threats you're talking about.
Yep.
But I think that AI integration is going to have to be used in a lot of ways for figuring out the ways you can test this at a low cost and start figuring out how to do these test scenarios and predicting what could happen, how to ensure that whether it is cyber attacks or environmental attacks or just general usage, everything keeps working.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think AI, one of the biggest use cases for AI now is cybersecurity. It's literally keeping ahead of the hackers through artificial intelligence. So I think there's that. I'd also add modular, scalable manufacturing and deployment. So you've got to have smart factory supply chain integration. Make sure you've got rapid production, upgradability, so that cybersecurity fixes and new hardware can be fielded really quickly, because cybersecurity is evolving every day. There's new hacking going on every day. You've got to be able to shift with it. So see you next week.